What is up, Mets fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Mets'd podcast. Kind of crazy. Took 2 or 3 from the Cubs. Mets play playoff teams. They start winning baseball games. You play teams that aren't in the playoffs, they lose. And right now, that is terrifying because with a 1-game lead, the Mets technically control their destiny going into Miami for the final 3 games of the season. The Reds will be in Milwaukee. The Diamondbacks have the Padres. Just win out, and the Mets are in the postseason for the 2025 year. We're going to talk about everything that happened in this series out in Chicago because it was crazy. It was chaotic. It was one of the best Mets series in terms of watching and also one of the worst that we have had all year. Guys, make sure you are following us on social media at Mets'd on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Subscribe to the Mets'd Podcast YouTube channel if you have not yet done so. Please subscribe. We do appreciate it. And if you're listening to us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, drop us a rating, drop us a review, download, and subscribe. James, how are we feeling? The boys are buzzing.
I mean, technically, yeah, but it was just even the way to get to this 2-1 series win was painful. But it did happen. It happened. At least the fact that it happened, you beat another good team, beat the Padres, beat the Cubs, blow games against the Nationals. Horrible that we're still at this point. Been watching too much Reds and Diamondbacks baseball over the last 3 days as well, which I didn't never want to be in that spot either. But like we're here for as bad as the month has gone. The fact that we just have to beat the Marlins to make the playoffs, like just do that.
I hate that you said that because I've heard just beat the Marlins before to make the playoffs, and it did not go our way.
The shame is that if the Marlins would have actually beat the Phillies, they lost 1-0 on Thursday night. They would have still been technically mathematically alive to make the playoffs themselves. So I do wish we kind of had that, maybe the extra pressure. But they've also already lined up all of their pitchers against us. Like
nice.
We're kind of jumping around now. It's not going to be the most traditional episode format that we have after series, but like we got Sandy, we got Edward Cabrera, we got Yuri Perez. Like that's going to be what we have.
Yeah.
It's just, and it'd be also going back to the Cubs series. Like we kind of hit the best pitcher is better. You know, like that. We have. I don't know. I just don't know which version of this team is showing up day in and day out. And we can
Jekyll and Hyde, such Jekyll and Hyde. Because game 1, even in game 1, Jekyll and Hyde. David Peterson continues to shit and piss down his leg. It's insane how horrible he's looked. He was on Adam Ottavino's channel the day of the game. He did like the live stream with him in the morning. And I was hoping they were going to talk more about pitching. They were talking about just being tall guys and being from Colorado, which hurt. But Peterson, I will say, he's always been a quiet guy. We've talked to him. He's not the most like talking about outspoken guy. But I was hoping to get a little more juice and vibes from him. I just don't think he's got it right now. I don't know how much he's got left in the tank, even if we make it to the playoffs.
No, that's the scary thing because he's going to start on Sunday.
Yeah.
It almost definitely lines up to me a must-win game for the Mets to win and get into the playoffs. And it's just watching his complete, like, I don't know, the way he's evolved into this, a bad pitcher again, the guy we haven't seen basically in 2 years. On August 1st, he had a 2.83 ERA.
Yeah.
Now it's 4.22 after another implosion. He didn't even get out of the second inning. And I understand that in that game, his defense did not do many favors. Juan Soto basically just dropped a fly ball in right field the first inning that led to the first 2 Cubs runs. It was really windy at the time, but it's still not an excuse at all whatsoever for him misplaying a very routine fly ball. But Peterson did himself no favors either. He wasn't throwing strikes. The strikes he was throwing were getting hit relatively hard. And then he got reverted back to being the guy that he was when he was a younger player, where when bad things happened around him, he was incapable of like battling through them. He was slumping his shoulders. You guys see Mark doing now on the YouTube. The body language was poor. He was sulking a little bit for the calls from the umpire. It was all together everything that we used to hate about David Peterson. And now in the matter of 7 weeks, he's totally reverted back to that guy. It's terrifying because he was the guy to rely on, and now he's just not that anymore.
As soon as you actually started believing in David Peterson,
literally,
he went back. He pumpkined you hard. Like he's just.
I was the last person to buy in,
and you should have never. That's the messed up jinx. James buying in. All of a sudden, David Peterson's stock completely tanks. It is shocking how bad he's been. Like, I know, again, he's at more innings than he's ever thrown, and he threw even extra innings last year because of the postseason. But just not being able to get any sort of outs from us is crazy, and you can tell that he's exhausted. The fact that every miss in that Cubs game was to his arm side is telling you that the arm's lagging behind. He doesn't have the same arm speed, the arm movement, everything. The mechanics are off. He's just tired, and that's not a valid excuse, but it is a fact. David Peterson does not have the juice. Hopefully Sunday, he can even just muster up. And I think we might see this on Sunday regardless. Maybe one time through the order, try and full throttle it, and then go to the next guy. Because the Mets, as we saw in game 2, really creative with how they're trying to use pitchers right now. I was, again, jumping around. I was blown away and shocked that both Clay Holmes and Sean Manaea pitched in game 2. I couldn't believe it.
No, I was flummoxed when I saw them come into this game, especially because it didn't seem like this was the time to play that card. By the time Clay Holmes got on the mound, we were down 6 runs already, 5 runs, if I remember correctly, after Jonah Tong got pieced up again, jumping around a little bit. But it does feel like, because, again, as we continue to jump around, Bren Sproat is starting Friday. And then after that, it just seems like whatever happens. Yeah. Like, Tong only threw 50 pitches, so he'll be available Sunday for something, right? And if you tell Jonah Tong, hey, give me 30 pitches, maybe he can air it out, then 95 becomes 98, the fastball gets more swings and misses, we could see a better version of him. Or maybe he just doesn't pitch at all because they don't trust him, but then maybe they option him and get another guy up here. Like, I don't know what on earth they're going to do. I don't remember any teams in playoff races sending pitchers up and down this frequently at this point in the season in a very long time. Maybe that's just a function of us being too into it, too involved in it, but the consistency of these moves that continue to happen, Dickie Lovelady, Kevin Herger, like Ryan Stanek dragging his way back near the circle of trust. Like, it's remarkable how much different this pitching looks for this team day in and day out.
Yeah, I would love to know if we could look back at that 2018 Brewers team where they went on that crazy run. Be like, I want to see what their starting pitching looked like down the stretch, because it is insane how this Mets team operates. When, like, we know how this was going to be the way that they operate over the long season, but then all of a sudden, when every single game is basically like game 7 of the playoffs, you're like, oh my God, like I can't believe I'm relying on Ryan Stan to get me out of jams. I can't believe you just mentioned Dickie Lovelady gave us a great couple innings last night. Like, salute to Sir Richard Lovelady.
Brazoban is the guy who changed this entire series. When everything was falling apart through like the 2nd, 3rd, 4th innings on Tuesday, I thought it was over. I threw in the towel. I said, that's it. I'm calling. When McNeil made the second error, that's it. When we wasted the Francisco Lindor leadoff home run, Francisco Lindor in his first at bat of every game this series wound up coming around to score a run. It's pretty. No, wait, did he on Tuesday? No, he did not Tuesday. The 2 games we won this series, he did that. Right, but that was pretty remarkable. And then it was Brazoban kind of settling things down for nearly 3 innings. Like, that was the huge difference maker. And it's still the same Huascar Brazoban. I don't think there's been any revelation. It's just the sinkers that he was throwing wind up getting hit into the ground, and we appreciate that. But if he wasn't able to give those innings, I don't think the Mets pulled themselves out of the depths of hell. I don't think you even give Brandon Nimmo and Francisco Alvarez the opportunities to get them to put this team ahead with those home runs, to drag themselves back into this game, the series, the season. Like, he's going to wind up being the unsung hero of the series that could easily be forgotten in a few days, no matter what happens. But have to remember those 2 2/3 really good innings for Huascar Brazoban.
Begging for some Brazoban revenge out in Miami. They got rid of him. Remember that, Huascar. Don't forget, the Marlins didn't want you.
I mean, I don't think he's on the active roster. Did he get sent down?
He already got sent down? Did I miss that?
Probably when you threw 2 2/3 innings, no? I think it was for Dickie Lovelady.
Oh, man, I didn't know Brazoban was on the cut.
Oh, no, he's back. He's still here.
Okay.
He's still here.
I was like, I didn't think they sent him down. The other big thing here, once again, shout out to the Mets'd up Jinx. So down on Brandon Nimmo, and what does he do? Hit one of the biggest home runs of the entire season. Lefty. I will say off the reliever, right? That was off the reliever at that moment.
It was Taylor Rogers. It was the first.
He loves second pitch. Because he threw a horrible high slider that Nimmo just missed. And then the second one came in, same spot, and Nimmo was all over it, crushed it.
No, he took the first one, but it was a hanging slider.
Okay, so that's what it was.
And then it was put to another pitch in the same spot, which is exactly how Nolan McLean got into trouble, say, Suzuki, which we'll talk about whenever we get to the 3rd game of this series. But
pitch decay.
Also, just very nice, too, the way that the bottom of the order was able to start that rally, namely Starling Marte, who's been bad, and he didn't play against the lefty on Thursday, trying to track any of the decision-making across Mendoza, whatever. And then you get the rare error from Dansby Swanson, one of the best fielding shortstops in the league, that also kind of creaked the door back open.
Creaked it open.
Yeah, but that was like that. Now all of a sudden, now you're rolling, get to the middle of the order, so the walks, Alonso gets the RBI single, and then Nimmo just pieces one up. And then you get late in the game, Lindor gets us to go ahead hit because he showed up to play this series.
When the lights turn on, Francisco Lindor is like, me, please, put the lights on me. I want to be the superstar.
And then Tyler Rogers just completing the horrible game by the Twins.
They're identical. They feel each other's pain.
Yeah, except the way they throw. But then he has a bad inning. He lets Suzuki get the go-ahead single. And then fucking Alvarez, dude. I just can't even. Everything that we've seen from Alvarez over the second half of the season, it's just amazing to watch. Like, you're watching a young player, someone who I don't know if I want to give the phenom tag on him, but he was one of the best prospects in baseball. He, in terms of a catcher reaching the major leagues, we talk about it all the time. He's still a fucking unicorn, how young he is and how many games he's played. His age, Cal Raleigh, Mark, how many games he played in AAA at this point?
I think 0, right?
Yeah, 0. Nailed it. So it's amazing he's still doing that. Fights through a demotion. He breaks his hamate, gets sent down to the minor leagues, comes back, sprains his thumb ligament, breaks his pinky, all that shit. And he's been the second or third best hitter in this lineup for like a 2-month stretch. It's the biggest home run of the season right there. One that we needed so badly, which also erased what was going to be another horribly ugly inning by both just the Mets being able to play to the scoreboard like we like to talk about, and Carlos Mendoza pinch running Acuna, then Acuna not running, and then finally running, and then Alvarez. Like a lot of bullshit that was happening over those few innings that we weren't able to take advantage of easily got washed away because of the Alvarez home run. But it doesn't matter because he hit the home run.
Yes, James, what if I told you that Francisco Alvarez has a higher OPS this season than Wyatt Langford?
I would tell you, yeah.
What if I told you his OPS was higher than Jackson Merrill, Jackson Chorio, Pete Crow Armstrong, Jason Dominguez? I mean, some of the biggest prospect names that we've seen of the last few years. And like you mentioned, he's doing that with the injuries while playing catcher. Francisco Alvarez, I think everybody better apologize to this dude. He is everything and more, and it's only going to get better, it feels like, because as he's played more and more and he's built that confidence up, who gets sent down and comes back up like that? So fired up, didn't take it as a demotion, took it as a chance to prove himself again, comes back up and is simply one of the best hitters in this lineup right now. It's crazy how good he's been.
In baseball, since he got recalled back up to the major leagues, that was like a week before the deadline, if I remember correctly, or a week after the deadline, somewhere around then. He got a higher OPS plus than Cal Raleigh.
Whoa.
Yes.
That's impressive.
We had a huge conversation about this as that demotion was happening. And you were like, you have to just write off anything you're going to get for anything you think you're going to get for Francisco Alvarez this season. And we saw him go down. I was like, I don't think so. I think we're about to see like the mentality change. And if we didn't get this run from Francisco Alvarez, just because of what the rest of the team has been and has done, like we're an under 500 team this year.
Yeah.
We missed the playoffs by a handful of games. Like, there's no chance we're still in this race if he doesn't do what he's done over the last month.
He is absolutely incredible. I love Francisco Alvarez. He's got an 800 OPS. He's so good
on the season. Yeah. It's amazing to even think about that because how bad he was. He broke his hamate bone. People break their hamate bones, and again, that alone will write a guy's season.
Can't hit home runs usually.
No. Unbelievable. And another big thing in this game, Edwin Diaz just manning up for the 6 outs.
Nails.
In a strange game where neither starting pitcher got through more than 3 innings because Cade Horton left this game with an injury. Another reason we got bailed out in a dramatic way in this game. And now they don't know about his availability for the playoffs possibly. Craig Counsell was kind of cagey and aggressive when the reporters asking that question before Wednesday. Craig Counsell, every time I hear him talking, this is a strange guy. Why is this the highest paid manager in baseball history? But Diaz, 8 swings and misses in this game, led the game in whiffs.
That's an insane sentence to say. The guy who pitched 2 innings led the game in whiffs.
Because no one pitched more than 3, and Cade Horton's not a big whiff guy. But this was such a batshit crazy baseball game. Like, this is the one you got to win this time of the year to possibly just give yourself a shot to get off the mat. And they did. Like, and again, in the middle, Ryan Stanek, another scoreless inning. Like Tyler Rogers, the run he gave up was inherited to Gregory Soto. That was another weird call, pulling him when he did.
Yeah, because Ian Happ is way better against right-handed pitching than he is against left.
Year.
Nope, for his entire career. 800 OPS against righties, like 650 against lefties. So I couldn't rationalize it. The only thing I will say is I trust Tyler Rogers more than Gregory Soto. So maybe that's what Carlos Mendoza was thinking. The decision-making from Carlos Mendoza, especially with the lineup, has made 0 sense. But if the Mets win baseball games, I'm going to be ignorant and not give a fuck.
This was also, I know Tyler Rogers had some up and down moments on the Mets, and we've seen kind of the weirdness of his profile, just being a big contact guy, but staying around the zone, but not a lot of the contact being hard. This was a bad appearance where all the contact was hard and you couldn't throw strikes. Where I was like, if you want a guy who's not going to throw strikes, just leave Gregory Soto in.
He walked, it was 2 guys?
Yeah.
And he walked 1 previously in his time with the Mets before that game.
He faced 7 batters and 4 of them got reached base, something like that.
He was definitely not sharp.
Again, you look back at this game, even as we're just recounting it for you guys now, it's unbelievable that we won it.
I don't know how.
It's cool that gave us the opportunity to, again, just have to split the next 2 games to win this series and stay on pace as the Reds miraculously lost 2 games to the Pirates. I don't know if you guys kept track of Reds Pirates on Wednesday night, but a game that the Reds trailed the entire time. They got 1 in the 7th or 8th. Then Tyler Stevenson hits a home run in the 9th inning that made me basically drop to my knees in my living room. and then we got to the 11th inning where Johan Ramirez, Mets legend,
Never forget.
is holding the red scoreless in the ghost runner. I just couldn't.
Throwing like 25 horizontal inches of break sweepers. Those things were moving like fucking wiffle balls.
It's such a joke and embarrassment that we're battling with that team right now because they're a team that's barely trying to win baseball games. But again, that's it. You got to play the hand you're dealt. That's where we are.
Yeah.
And we had a bad game on Wednesday, so we needed them to lose this.
Yeah, needed it super badly. Shout out the Pittsburgh Pirates. Appreciate you. Never forget what the city of Pittsburgh did for the Mets so far this year. The Jonah Tong appearance scares me for this year. I don't think he can be a starter if we are to make the postseason. Do you agree?
I do agree, but I also think he can and probably should be like a 30 pitch, 40 pitch guy.
I can get behind that because we're seeing the limited capabilities of when you're really just a fastball changeup guy. It's ever so present with Jonah Tong, especially because he's not attacking the zone again, and he did not attack the Cubs hitters. It felt like he was nibbling a lot. And then when he gets behind and his fastball changeup, you can kind of just look to pull the baseball a little bit.
I think he was in the zone
early on, not at the end though.
No, for sure.
When he was pitching well, he was in the zone because there was, I think it might have been to Dansby Swanson.
I don't think he pitched well from the jump.
There was one inning he was money. Which inning?
The second inning was great.
Yeah,
second inning was great.
I was streaming it, and he threw a fastball up in the zone to Dansby that Dansby swung through, and that was like the sick IVB fastball. Then he hit him with the changeup, and Dansby looked like what the fuck? And then I think he threw another fastball right by him. I was like, that's what makes him sick. Now, if we can get a third pitch, that's when he really becomes unhittable. But truthfully, like as you saw, the more, I don't want to say like polished hitters than Dansby Swanson, but truthfully, more polished hitters, they can kind of just figure it out and pick the spots when you're going to try and jump on Jonah Tong.
What if I told you that out of the 14 batters Jonah Tong faced in this game, 11 got first pitch strikes?
That would be shocking.
He was ahead throughout, but what happened was I just think that eventually you can kind of wind up guessing. If, like you're saying, like you're an experienced hitter in a Cubs team, especially
it's like what Murph told us. It's either like fast, straight, it's fast, slow, or it moves. And right now he's fast, straight, fast, slow, and you can kind of play a 50-50 game.
And you can also kind of adjust that on the fly, especially when you see him multiple times. The second time, the first time the top of the order got to him, but Tyrone Taylor made a great play and bailed him out.
Sick.
The second time was sick. I was like, oh, center fielders with an arm. I forget about that. But basically, the first batter, the first pitch of almost every single at bat was a fastball. And then after that, he was just hitting changeups.
Yeah.
And then if you fell behind, you were getting a fastball. But if you got ahead, he was going to try and get you with a changeup. And it's just a situation where he's in the zone, but they're not missing that much in the zone. Like he's not getting the swings and misses. Just that I'm sure because when he was in the minor leagues, he was able to just dust fastballs by
better
guys.
than them.
Literally, and that's it. But that's also a function of how quickly he's moved up, how young he still is, and how there's not much nuance in his repertoire at all right now. And not being able to get really many swings out of the zone, that will really hurt your ability for soft contact. And we've seen also this game, he got some soft contact, but then also just, it felt like every single ball he played was just go. It was like there were just line drives in good spots. It wasn't exactly the way I felt like he got nickeled and dimed in that Rangers start, but I did feel like it was more similar to the Reds start where it's just, they got barrel on ball and zone. Eventually, those are going to become hits. And it's I don't know, it's a weird situation. But I think this version of him, you can't really expect him to be a starter, but I think you can expect him to get 6 outs.
Yeah, I mean, I would, if he wants to be one of the right-handed relievers in the bullpen, I don't hate that.
He could be the right-handed reliever.
Yeah, like that doesn't bother me at all. But starting right now, it does feel like it's not the best case scenario for this Mets team.
No, I think that I don't think there's any doubt of that. I think he's only out there because he kind of has to be. But I think starting now, he doesn't have to be anymore. And throwing 50 pitches Wednesday should make him available for 30 pitches on Sunday, truthfully.
Yes, of course. Now, real quick, can I just do a quick little DraftKings player spotlight?
Go for it.
Now, for those of you who watch Game 2, you'll notice that Brett Baty was not in the lineup, despite being good. And despite playing great defense. And one of the things that let the Mets down in this game was Mark Vientos' defense at third base. Now, luckily, Carlos Mendoza seems to have shown his hand a little bit. I don't think Mark Vientos is going to be playing the field for the rest of the season. I think he'll still hit. Could be a DH. I don't think he's going to play third base. Brett Baty got the start against Shota, and thank God he did because he hit that home run. But Brett Baty continues to be one of the more important pieces in this line. We talk about how good Francisco Alvarez is. We know Lindor, Soto, Alonso, the big names. But Brett Baty being at the bottom of the order there, playing as well as he has. I know he hit a little bit of a cold stretch, but the defense is something that the Mets need to prioritize right now because they've made multiple errors in the last week in multiple games, which is insane. The defense has been pitiful. But Brett Baty playing third base, he makes good plays. He made an incredible play on Matt Shaw in Game 3, the barehanded play with the throw. Like, that is, looking back on it, a massive play to get that out.
And it's the kind of thing where you have to almost treat what Baty's done this season similar to how we treated Vientos last season. Like, the value is not as obvious because what Vientos was doing was just mashing day in and day out. So it's like you see the home runs, he's hitting the top of the order, yeah, but where Baty is a little bit worse right now. Not even a ton worse than how Vientos hit last season. You're still looking at like a nearly 800 OPS, a 115 WRC plus since he was recalled in early May after being set down for McNeil. It's just there's nothing that should keep him out of lineup. Like, he's earned the shot, and it also feels like he's someone that is getting better, becoming more confident. Like, when the lights again similarly are turning out and being the brightest. Like, Mets don't win the game on Thursday without that home run.
That home run too was also
massive.
A bomb. He crushed that.
Opposite field.
Field is nuts against lefty, which Brett Baty, we're told, can't do.
Well, apparently, again, now it seems like we can. We're getting, like we told you guys, 3 right-handed pitchers, 3 very good right-handed pitchers in this series. A couple of those guys, they perfected the right-handed changeup to the left-handed batter. So Baty's going to be playing every single game. He's going to be having a prominent role in this series. He's someone I'm looking at to have a huge series.
Yeah, I think Brett Baty definitely could have some big games in this one, and I do expect. I think he's going to go yard in one of the games. Just pick a game you like. I don't know. Maybe not Sandy because the sinker balls, but maybe Yuri, right?
Maybe Yuri, Edward Cabrera. Just, no matter what, you got to win 2 of these games. And Baty hits a home run in one of them. I hope we get that one. That one's the win.
Yeah. So I'm all over Baty this one. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code FOUL. That's code FOUL to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first $5 bet, plus over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. Fees may apply in Illinois. 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday Ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday Ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday Ticket/terms. Limited time offer.
Even just sticking with Baty for a second here, I did think that was the most emotion. I don't know if that's the right word, but most vitriol, it's not the right word either, but that was the sharpest words we've heard Mendoza say about a player on his own team, I think, since becoming the manager last year, basically saying that it was kind of inexcusable the way Mark Vientos played third base, blaming that in a way, because it was a few plays that could have been made, especially in that third inning before Tong got chased, and even later on in the game. It's just, they weren't like 50-50 balls, but they're balls in Major League third base when you kind of expect to make, and him not even getting close to making any of them. Mendoza was just contrite. He was like, that's it. He can't do that.
Are you going to pipe in the audio for Mendoza for this one? Because
yeah, coming right now.
Yeah, coming in right now.
What did you make of Mark Vientos' defense today?
Yeah, I mean, they're routine plays, At this level, you expect those plays to be made, We just got to be better.
Given how
defensive mistakes, can you maybe attribute to trying a little bit too hard right now?
Not really. I mean, because they're routine plays. So, like I said, this is the big leagues, routine plays. We expect those plays to be made. So, and they know that.
I'm going to be honest. I hate what happened. I love that Carlos Mendoza said that. I think that's what a manager has to do. I think sometimes, especially in the world of like, there's a million reporters and Twitter and social media and everything, managers feel like they don't make actual comments as much. And that's something that we've been critical of Mendoza. It's like, dude, you can't keep saying the same thing over and over again. The season's on the line. And while I wish he didn't have to, I wish Mark Vientos could make plays that most people can make at third base that are playing professional baseball. He can't. The one thing that does seem weird, though, you put him there. Why'd you put him there then? We all could have told you that Mark Vientos can't make these plays. So that's what bothers me, is that
he's never made these plays.
Yeah, he's never has, never could, never will. He can't.
He might still, but he hasn't yet.
He can't. Never will.
I'll never say never after watching Austin Riley and Marcus Semien, and even Brett Baty going from butchers to Gold Glovers.
Mark Viento's feet look like they weigh 1,000 pounds the way that guy moves.
Sure.
You know what we could never do, though? We could never beat those guys in a race. We could beat Mark Vientos in a race. That's the difference. Those guys were good athletes. Mark Vientos is not. He's he's a good hitter. That's his thing. He can hit a baseball hard. He can't play third base, though, and I do think that's the end of Mark Vientos playing third base, honestly, for the Mets, maybe ever.
And I think if that's the case, it's the right decision because, like we've said, the steps that Baty's taken, there shouldn't be this big of a problem with starting him against left-handed pitchers at this point. Like I understand he's worse against lefties and righties, but
breaking
the other
news,
options,
so is Juan Soto.
the other options aren't good enough to outweigh the huge defensive shortcomings you get when you take Baty off the field and put Vientos at third. It's just not even close to it. If Vientos had a 1,000 OPS against lefties this year, I'd say fine. I don't give a fuck.
Yes.
Like, if he can hit that well, you just do it. But that's it. It's just not. And maybe if that was a straw that broke the camel's back, like again, cool that it happened. Why did it take so long?
Yes.
But it is. I guess it is easy to forget too because of how much we've been through the last 2 years. That this is still Carlos Mendoza learning how to be a major league manager, like finding his voice. Like I don't know, like. Again, like I've never heard him speak like that after a game about a player on this team, about a player in any team ever, and it was a little bit jarring. But if this is the result, it really the last lefty we're going to face this season, it's still worth it.
Yes, which
you won Thursday possibly because of that.
Yeah, and the defense is so important with how bad defensively this team has been.
And one more thing before we want to start talking about the game on Thursday, quickly, Ryan Helsley looked kind of good again.
I didn't say anything.
I just say, look,
no comment.
I spoke in the past tense. He looked kind of good again.
My hands are up. I'm not
That's
guilty.
it.
I didn't say it, guys.
There's going to be an inning this weekend that Ryan Helsley's going to have to get high leverage on. That's it. He's going to. I'm telling you right now, if we're leading,
what if we just win by 15 every game?
I would love to win. I would love to win by 7 one time, so this doesn't have to happen. That's why I was really hoping on Thursday.
What about twice? 7 twice.
I wish Thursday we could have just stayed ahead and blown the Cubs' doors off so we didn't have to burn Edwin Diaz again, so we could have wound up pitching 3 days in a row this weekend. But the fact he just did the 2 innings, 1 day off an inning, there's going to be 1 day this series where he might not pitch. And you're going to need Helsley to pitch. He's not going to pitch 4 days in a row.
I hear what you're saying. I don't think that there's a game that Edwin Diaz doesn't pitch if we're winning by 3 or less.
Probably, but even if Diaz comes in for the 9th, there's 8 more innings in the baseball game.
No, I know that. Yeah,
we don't know who the fuck is going to get any of those outs. We have.
Oh, you're talking about Ryan Helsley closing a game? I'm going to throw up.
I'm talking about the possibility of Ryan Helsley pitching the 8th or the 9th in one of these games.
I'm going to vomit. I can't think of that.
I'm just telling everyone out there to be ready for it. I don't know what's going to happen, but all we can do is that's it. Go for it.
I'm stressed. Oh my god. Game 3 was awesome though.
It was.
That was nice. It was nice to see the Mets jump out to the early lead. Thank God they did, because Nolan McLean again tried to sneak one by Seiya Suzuki, and it didn't work again, which tisk, that's just a professional hitter going up against a rookie pitcher. That being said, Nolan McLean was still incredible. It's weird to say a start where a guy gives up 5 earned was incredible, but the first 5 were pretty insanely good.
It was. I mean, the first few innings, he was just striking everybody out. It was amazing. The frisbees and the curveballs. I
can't believe how his pitches look. They still don't there aren't other pitchers that have pitches that move like this. All of them in different directions.
I can heap credit on Seiya Suzuki because he had a home run off McLean early. This did seem like a situation where if you have a actually good bullpen with many right-handed options that you trust, Nolan McLean doesn't get that at bat. You probably just take him out. For a guy that got him last time, in a big inflection point of the game where if there's a home run, suddenly now you got to tighten up. You start to feel the sweat. Again, I would have left him in because there was no better option, but in a perfect world, I would have loved for someone to come in. And again, you tip the hat to Seiya because McLean got cheeky and he threw a front pitch sweeper and then he tried to throw in again. And Seiya just got his hands on it. It seemed like there was a bit of a wind tunnel out to left field in Wrigley during this game. It felt like that. And Seiya just kind of got that ball into the jet stream. And it was a good piece of hitting. It was. That was a professional veteran hitter just not getting fooled by rookie trying to do the same cheeky thing twice in a row.
Yeah, I think also if Tyler Rogers didn't get shelled and roped off by Seiya in game 1, I think there's a chance you could have seen him there too. But again, it's they don't have that luxury right now. But luckily, it didn't cost us too badly. Mets got the runs. Mets scored. Francisco Lindor home run. Brett Baty home run. Brandon Nimmo with a big double earlier on in the game. We had that chaos with the Mark Vientos play and Dansby Swans. I've never seen anything like that.
No, shout out Matt Shaw for actually showing up to this game because he had a bad one in the field and at the plate. That was crazy because that's clearly the shortstop's ball, and then he tripped and fell and knocked him out of play. That changed the entire tenor of this game.
Well, Matt Shaw, former shortstop, so that might have just been like the old baseball instincts kicking in.
Again, probably more reps on the field probably helps you with that one, but it was cool to get that first run and just be able to relax because the way you got destroyed the day before. We've seen this team spiral 6-7 different times this season.
Yeah.
And one more spiral officially ends your season. So nice that happened. And on top of that, because you kind of got the one cheapy run, neither here nor there. Nimmo getting the 2-out single off Shota to drive Alonso in after that. That was big time. Yeah. Then you could really relax. McLean looked dialed in from the start. And we pieced up Shota.
That's now 2 times. I think the last 2 times he's pitched against us, we've been all over him. Shota, most home runs given, or 30 home runs given up again for the second straight year. He's a weird one. I don't know if I want to say it. I still don't get it.
No, I've talked about this a lot. I got slammed on my YouTube channel this year for talking fantasy baseball. I ranked him like outside my top 30.
Yeah, I just don't get it with him.
He doesn't walk guys. And this is the thing where if you don't walk guys, the ball's always in the zone. If the ball's always in the zone, these are major league hitters. Like they're going to get around on them a lot. And he's also one of these funny guys where like a lot of the people will just rally against him because like, oh, look at the FIP. And it's like, all right, it's like also like hundreds of innings at this point. Yeah. It's like if your ERA is a lot lower in your FIP for like 60 innings, I'm like, yeah, you're due for some bad luck. If it's that way for 325 innings,
probably just something.
I think you just are able to do something that the models, the metrics can't really grab. Well, at the same time, I think this is a funny thing. I want to see this updated. I think this year he's allowed more home runs than walks.
That's crazy.
31 home runs allowed, 26 walks in this game.
You know, that's so weird too to think about because like normally like I hate when pitchers walks guys. I hate when they give up home runs. It's a guaranteed run. That's crazy to think about.
You probably should start walking more guys.
That's what I was going to say. Is it better if he starts walking guys? Is that a conversation?
We had 15 hard hit balls in this game on 22 balls in play, and we were smoking the ball left and right. We would have had more runs if the Cubs outfielders weren't laying out, making crazy play after crazy play.
With Luis Angel Acuna and Luis Torrens in the lineup. We didn't even throw out the best lineup.
Luis Angel Acuna, 2 hard hit balls in this game.
But Luis
Torrens also roped that single to set up the Tyrone Taylor double. Or was that before Baty? Whatever it was, those were the 2 biggest hits that we had this game. Those were both critical to the success we wound up with here.
Can't believe that was the lineup on Thursday. Could not believe it. When that came out.
I crashed out.
That was like the first time I think all year where I went like to Twitter. I'm like, the fuck are we doing? Why is Luis Angel Acuna starting?
Yeah, I got a little pissy on Twitter, especially with the. Luis Angel Acuna, I understood more than Torrens because Jeff's been catastrophically bad for like a month now, especially. Yeah, and worse bad defense, especially relative to Acuna, and worse against lefties. So at least. McLean's getting a shit ton of ground balls. Yeah. Put the best defensive second baseman, whatever. Again, you get bailed out because Tyrone Taylor has an actual, he smacks the ball today, and so you're happy with that. And also the way Mendoza explained it, I think he used the cramp as an excuse. Like I don't know if that was necessarily real, but I think it was kind of like Alvarez had to sit one of these last 4 games.
Yeah, he did say it was either going to be today or tomorrow, and they felt better about today.
And they figured just let him play these last 3 games in a row. They're going to get into Miami. I think Gary. Ron, we're talking about. They're going to get in like 4:00 in the morning.
I do. How is that possible?
It's a 3.5 hour flight.
Yeah,
from Chicago to Miami.
The game ended at like 9 Chicago time.
Chicago time doesn't matter. It's the Miami time.
I know, but so it's like the game ends at 10.
The game ends at 10:30. You're probably at the airport by 12, and then by the time you get in your hotel, it's 4 a.m.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. And you sleep until noon. You head to the park.
Fast.
Time moves slow. No, but this was again. We talk about it a lot. I say it all the fucking time. Like this, we need the lineup to do this as much as possible. Yes. And the lineup said we're not losing this game. That was it.
Which is great because the Reds won, so we needed that one. We still.
Also, I don't know if you guys were scoreboard watching the Reds at 3:45 p.m. on Thursday afternoon, but Noelvi Marte skied into the stands to take a game-tying home run away from Brian Reynolds in the 9th inning. Got his entire elbow over the wall. Noelvi Marte has been playing outfield for 8 weeks now. Could believe me.
All right, James, I'm going to ask you something. Objectively speaking, while Rob Manfred has bastardized the game that you love with this wild card format, I think if you are a baseball fan, like this nationally wild card race is sick.
Oh, for sure.
This is incredible.
But also, it would also be sick if it was one wild card spot. Right now, it was the Cubs versus the Padres.
Sure, yeah, of
actually
course.
pretty good teams. You have a similar thing going on with these two teams being separated by a game or two over the last 3 consecutive weeks.
Not including a team that actively said we don't want to win games this year with the Diamondbacks.
The irony is, as much as I've just shit on this wild card spot, this is the Mets owned wild card spot.
Yes.
Last year, we were the 6th. This year, we're trying to be the 6th. Like this, we would be really in the dumps if this last wild card spot didn't exist.
Oh, the season would have been over weeks ago.
Literally 2 full weeks ago, we would have that. Especially the 8-game losing streak would have finally totally killed us. But again, Rob Manfred throwing us a bone. I guess that's the karma for the Cohen tax.
FT Fam Superpower believes that every human has 100-year potential, and they're going to help you get there. I like the sweatshirt, Eric Kratz, and I also love the way that Superpower takes care of its members.
Yeah. You go get your lab test, you become the best you. You be a member of this group, and your test will come back. It's unlocking things that you didn't know about yourself. This is stuff that players used all the time. You can do it now too.
Exactly, Kratz. How many of you have gone to a doctor's appointment? You get the classic, oh, you're fine, or just drink more water. No real data, no real game plan. With one simple blood draw with Superpower and over 100 biomarkers, that is way more than what you'd usually get, and it unlocks so much more about your own body. Head to superpower.com to learn more and lock in the special $199 price while it lasts. After you sign up, they'll ask you how you heard about them. Please make sure to mention the FT podcast to support the show. Your biology decoded, your blueprint activated with Superpower.
The Mets control their destiny. If they win all 3 games in Miami, punch our ticket to the postseason. Guaranteed. You win 2 of 3, you're putting it in the hands of God, but we will have to see what happens there. Big series in Miami. I can't believe it comes down to the fucking Marlins again.
When the schedule came out to start
the
season,
we all saw it.
That's gonna mean something, sadly.
Yeah, and boy, were we right. I thought maybe for the division. I didn't think it was going to be to make the playoffs.
Wishful thinking there. But the Mets did catch a bit of a break with just, again, thinking about scoreboard schedule watching. One, the fact that the Diamondbacks had to play the Dodgers this week, and they have run out of pitchers as well because they traded a bunch of them at the deadline. So on Thursday, they just had a willful bullpen game.
And they don't have a bullpen?
Yeah, so they basically had a who wants to pitch game against the Dodgers, and they lost. It seemed like they kind of just punted against Yamamoto, then lined up their good starters that to face the Padres weekend. But also because the Phillies swept the Marlins this week, which knocked the Marlins out of playoff contention again, which is unbelievable.
Huge.
Think about it right now, because wow, if they were gunning for us. But 2, they're only 2 games behind the Brewers. So the Brewers, who are playing the Reds this weekend, have to still kind of stay pedal to the metal for at least 2 games.
Who are the Phillies playing?
The Phillies are playing the Minnesota Twins for some reason.
Yeah, great end of the series. Yeah, end of the season series right there. Phillies Twins. Everybody can't wait to watch that one.
Thanks,
Their
Rob,
one series of the year is the last series. That's crazy.
And the Phillies are going to just walk all over the Twins. So again, the Brewers have to at least play the Reds tough on Friday. If Quinn Priester on the mound, again, we're previewing Reds Brewers right now. But I mean, you kind of have to do it this time of year. If you can find a way to drag yourself to a victory on Friday as the Mets, and then you hopefully, with the Brewers going pedal to the metal, get a win over the Reds, that everything changes just so much on a dime, and you feel so beautiful because you don't have starters for Saturday and Sunday. And again, for the 3rd game in a row, for the 9th time in 3 weeks, we're putting so much fucking pressure on a rookie. But it's just you kind of have to at this point.
It's gonna be crazy. Baseball gods, please. One time for us. One time.
I'll say this. I'm not going to pray the baseball gods. We got bailed out a lot this season. A lot.
Yeah, and last year too. They kind of said,
we've had some,
wake up.
Baseball gods are our guys. I'm gonna be real with you. So we just need to play better baseball in the Marlins. And again, they lined it up. Sandy, Yuri, and Edward Cabrera.
Fucking assholes.
It's ridiculous. And we got Brandon Sproat
Although
Friday.
we did piece up Yuri the last time.
We did. So hope we do it again. And we've gotten to Cabrera here and there. And Sandy has been unstoppable in the second half. And then it's just Sproat, and then Saturday and Sunday, it's everybody.
What's that?
You're going to see Minaya. You're going to see Holmes. You're going to see Peterson. You're probably going to see Tong. You're probably going to see Brazoban. You're definitely going to see a lot of Edwin Diaz. Like, you might see Kevin Hergert. Like, I don't know what's going to happen in these games.
I'm pulling up the weather forecast because I think when the Marlins open the roof, it plays massive. I'm pretty sure the stadium plays ginormous. And if Jazz Chisholm's telling the truth, way harder to hit. Like, apparently it fucks up the batter's eye. It's really, really difficult. Oh, thunderstorms all weekend in Florida. That's huge. Huge for the roof.
That's good.
Roof
We
being
want that.
closed. Yeah. We want the roof closed.
You want the roof closed.
We want the roof closed because we want us, the guys who hit the ball hard, to be able to be rewarded for hitting the ball hard if we do against the Marlins.
Totally. And I don't know. Sandy's just always kind of continuously had our number. The Marlins also are coming just before losing they weren't swept by the Phillies. They lost series to the Phillies. But before that, they had won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 11 out of 12 games.
Can you believe that we're playing the Marlins the last game of the series and we're not going up against Cal Quantrill and Jansen Junk and those guys? We're getting the 3 guys, 2 of which that you thought had a good chance to not be on the team at this point. That's fucked.
And I mean, 2 of the guys not be on the team at this point. One guy who probably maybe should have just been shut down.
Yeah.
Like, I'd love to see Vante Beozo in this series. Like,
God, I'd kill to see Vante Beozo.
On Wednesday, the Phillies had a franchise record with 8 home runs against the Marlins in a game that I'm trying to remember who started that game. That Ryan Weathers started. Like, Edmund Mendoza had 3 home runs in one game. My boy.
The Alec Boehm killer.
No, I mean, it's terrible. Even the one run the Marlins got in that game was because Alec Boehm made a throwing error. Don't you like that? But
hell yeah.
It's just, this series is going to be a lot about Alvarez, Baty, Soto, Nimmo, Lindor.
Everybody.
Alonso,
it's everybody. All hands on deck.
It's just hit. You got to hit. And again, who in the world is going to get the set? How many outs? The 84 outs. I can't do math. What's 54 plus 27?
54 plus 27
is 82. 81. The 81 outs.
Yeah, 81. There you go.
You're going to get Holmes. Oh my God. You're going to get Helsley. Everyone's going to be there. All the fellas.
Who is going to be the real pain in or thorn in our side for this one? I don't know. Troy Johnston. I don't know who that is, but I know he's going to do something annoying.
Wagaman, Xavier Edwards.
Ryan Navarretto, the backup catcher. He has a chance to do something.
Don't say that. I mean, Joey Weimer is going to see something.
The good news is Augustine Ramirez has been catching more. And if he's catching, we're running. We're running. Like the Met, you might see Juan Soto steal multiple bases every time he's out there if he gets on base. And Sandy doesn't hold guys on well either, right?
Neither does Cabrera. Those are actually the two worst pitchers in the entire league in the run game.
Okay.
And Augustine Ramirez is the worst catcher by far in the run game. And Liam Hicks, who was the backup catcher, I think that was on.
He's playing first base, I think.
Oh, so he's not even, he's playing first base. He's not even catching. He's also one of the worst. So this team is they were cataclysmically bad against stolen bases this season to the point where they were approaching major league records. So that's another angle of the series because this Marlins Park is not the easiest to hit home runs out. You've just got to get on base because also the base runners will be scarce. Friday's such a massive game.
Yes.
I wish that one wasn't Sandy.
I
really wish but we could wait on Sandy because I don't know. I'm terrified of what's going to happen this series.
Yeah, I mean, we just know that Sandy can show up to the ballpark and be like, you don't score today, and I'm going to pitch the entire game. You get no chance to even breathe.
And he's been amazing the whole second half. September, he's come back to earth a bit. He didn't have a great start. One was against the Phillies, then he had 2 other pretty good starts against the Rockies and the Tigers. He's striking guys out again, which is kind of amazing to think about. It's just
we found the 3 real pitchers on this roster in one weekend, the most important weekend of the season.
Also, the last time we played them, they also lined up the same 3 pitchers.
Yeah.
No, maybe Cabrera wasn't healthy yet, if I remember right.
Yeah, might not have been healthy yet.
We're just kind of circling the bowl here, just to continue to talk about the series and being a little bit scared about it. But
thank God, no Kyle Stowers.
Thank God, he had no Kyle Stowers. I mean, he was close.
Yeah,
was he not?
I don't know.
That's possible. Let me check real quick just before we actually say that.
I think he is technically still on the IL at the time of recording.
No, he is still in the IL at the time of recording, but I know he was trying to play a few more games. No, he shut down.
Nice. Okay.
Officially shut down. Officially no Kyle Stowers. But it's just it. We're going to be scoreboard watching. You can still back in with the Reds because we're ahead.
Yes.
And they're playing the Brewers, who has something to play for at least. I mean, let's see. Who has the tiebreaker between the Brewers and the Phillies? I think the Phillies do, right?
It would be head-to-head record, right?
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure. I love how we're doing this on the fly. This is a great podcast.
I'll look this up real quick to see Because I know if it is a 3-way tie, Mets, Reds, Diamondbacks, the Diamondbacks are in.
That's
because they have the
sickening.
best division record.
That's so sickening.
Mets,
we can't get a bet again.
And Mets lose tiebreakers to both those teams if it's a two-way tie.
What the fuck?
Yeah. We really
Right,
fucking...
So just gotta kill the Diamondbacks.
No, Marlins.
No, I mean, they just don't even want them involved. But yeah, of course we just have to kill the Marlins.
You know, this easy way to make sure they don't get involved. Don't lose any more games in the regular season. Just win them all. So the Phillies against the Brewers are 2-4. So the Brewers hold the tiebreaker.
Fuck. Shit.
That's not great.
They just have to win one.
They have to win one.
Damn. Yes, we might get no Brewers pitchers on Saturday and Sunday.
But
so
also,
again,
they're still good, though, the Brewers. Their non-pitchers still will probably pitch really well.
That still makes Friday, again, as much more important as I keep saying.
And just as much as, like, we know the Marlins and, like, teams in our division love to keep the Mets out. You love to spoil. I think the Brewers would love to keep the Reds out of the playoffs as well. You never want someone in your division to make it into the postseason.
If you have any pride, I'd hope so.
Yeah, please. I don't know. They're Pat Murphy. I don't think Pat Murphy is the kind of guy to just be like, nah, let's get to the playoffs.
And also, again, we're really just talking ourselves in circles. They're not going to be playing the wild card series, so they have a week off anyway. So they should just run the pitchers out.
Yeah,
there,
why
right?
not?
Why
Get
not?
Freddie out there. Woodruff got shut down for the year, but
yeah,
get everybody out there.
Get a few innings in. Stay fresh.
Yeah,
what are we doing?
Let's get a bullpen game for them. Let's get 2 innings at a time.
Yeah, the Brewers did sweep the Phillies in May, right when they got really hot. Damn, shit. All right, I mean, hey, beat the Marlins. That's
beat the Marlins. Literally,
leaving you guys beat the Marlins.
That's it. That's the sentence of this episode. Beat the Marlins in the playoffs. We got Frankie Peppers, James.
I'm checking him right now. I'm sure we do.
It's a little late. Sure. It's a little late. I know Frankie's got to go to work in the morning.
Frankie's a working man. Doesn't miss his days like these Gen Zers.
No, never. Shows up to
we
work.
Got one here. Yeah, grown man.
No days off.
Every single day. Hard hat. Here comes Frankie.
Gentlemen, this is Frankie Peppers. How you doing? So that's what happens when you buy somebody to cast a spell on Etsy. You win 2 out of 3 games. Her name is Wanda. She clearly did a wonderful job, and I asked for the Mets to go on to win the World Series. So this is a really good start. When I asked her what she did, she said she can't tell me. But she promised that she cast a spell. I didn't even ask for a video or for say the incantation, do the chant. I just asked can you walk me through your process a little bit? And she said she can't, and she hasn't responded to me since. So I think she's trusting the sauce, and I gotta trust the sauce too. So our magic number is 3. Let's get this done, gentlemen, and get to the playoffs, and then anything can happen. All right, boys. I'll talk to you soon. Let's go, Mets.
I forgot that Frankie posted on Twitter that he paid an Etsy witch to cast a spell.
I can't even believe that's a thing.
To lift the curse on the Mets.
I'm in.
Hopefully.
I'm in. I mean, we thought about it, so.
Oh, I know. Yeah, at this point in the season, you got to cover all your bases.
Yes.
Can't leave any stone unturned.
If you guys can make bolognese, of course, remember.
Anything.
A little Sunday sauce will go a long way for this team. And hopefully, when we talk to you guys after this Marlins series, we can crack open a nice ice cold beer and be celebrating the fact that we're going to get mollywopped by the Dodgers in the postseason.
And we're going to have some kind of episode coming out on Saturday. I think we'll just maybe do a little bit of a look back at the seasons Alvarez and Baty have had, because in our minds, they've proven themselves as dudes going forward. We should be sharpied into the lineup every day forever.
But that's it, guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Make sure you are subscribed to the Mets'd Podcast YouTube channel. See the video version. If you're listening to us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, drop us a rating, drop us a review, download, and subscribe. You can follow James on social media at
James Shannon.
I'm Draftneck Mark with a C. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching. Let's fucking go Mets. Let's make the playoffs.
Please.
Catch you guys next time. Peace out.
Peace out, guys. Go Mets.